Aren't these tests kind of easy?
You ever been inside a prison?
Mine? Have you?
Yeah.
Taking the life force from the planet. If he fails, you can always hit the reset button. Final Fantasy VII.
PlayStation.
I used to always play this thing at my neighbour's called a Nintendo 64. You might have heard of it. I asked for one for my birthday, but I got this instead. A PlayStation. I got 3 games with it. Tomb Raider, Worms, and this weird 3-disc game called Final Fantasy VII. At first I hated it. The graphics were shit, I couldn't get the hang of it, and this scorpion thing kept killing me. So I played the other games. Tomb Raider was way better. The graphics looked good, you had 2 guns that could bend around like this. You had to face off against wolves, bats, bears, fucking dinosaurs. Worms was fun too. You could fly into rocks and blow up. You can get this banana thing that just fucks everything up. It was great. They were great. I'd play those games for ages. They'd be the games that would stick with me and not that other weird one with the polygon people.
Eternal in our hearts.
Is it? Wait.
In its wake came an age of silence.
What is this? Don't do this to me.
Yet with each
Don't do
fond
this to me.
remembrance,
Don't do this
we
to me.
knew, for they are coming back. At last.
That was me about 5 years ago. A little excited, as you can see. And that's because after 10 years of whispering of a dream, the impossible happened, and Square announced that they would be remaking Final Fantasy VII for modern gaming consoles. This is my story on what that game and its remake means to me.
Final Fantasy VII is a game for the PlayStation that was released in January of '97. You play as Cloud, a mercenary for hire. He's hired by environmental justice / domestic terrorist group Avalanche to help take on the evil Shinra Corporation, who are draining the planet of its resources. Along the way, you meet new characters and face old foes in a story that spans over 3 discs and over 40 hours. Now, I know I'm not alone when I talk about the impact that this game has had. I mean, the reactions of the millions of people that saw the announcement live, that says it all. And I'm sure I'm not alone when I say that I truly feel a personal connection with this game.
And what I want to challenge you to do is to own that and say, you know what, I am human. And I do struggle with some things. And I'm not perfect. And I do need help. Then I want to challenge you to get the help. And then I want to challenge you to be the help.
There's always that one kid, isn't there? He's always picked dead last in PE every single time. They don't talk to anyone, they get picked on, beat up on, and they never fight back. For them, that one thing that they did 3 years ago has just destroyed any chances of making friends. Growing up, I was that kid. I was bullied a lot. It's shit. I mean, anyone else who's been there knows that escapism, having something to take your mind off of it, is priceless. So when I started to get the hang of playing FF7, and the story started to wrap me in, I happily let it. I would count the hours until I got home to play it some more. See, when you're an adult, you can have like a smoke or a few beers if you're stressed. For me, this was my vice. Whatever kind of bad day I had, and there were plenty, I knew I could come home and slice off another small but fulfilling piece of this story in a way that I'd never experienced before. Because like, you can stick on a movie or watch a TV show and you can sit there and the story just washes over you. Whereas with a game, you actually have to put in effort, so you're bound to get invested. You're interacting with the story, you're becoming a part of the story. There is so much I can remember about my first time playing this. I remember my first fight with the guard scorpion. I remember beating the guard scorpion and how satisfying that was. I remember my first Genova fight with the amazing soundtrack.
I remember as well this teaching assistant I used to get on really well with, who had already played the game, and she would say to me, wait till you get to the end of disc 1, wait till you see what happens. And I'd always be like, what happens?
And I remember experiencing what happened at the end of the first disc. I remember exactly what that felt like. It was sad. I remember there was this bar we'd go to called the Director's Arms, and I remember going there about an hour or so after finishing the first disc and just being an absolute string of misery for the whole thing. I remember fighting Sephiroth and after several tries finally beating him for the first time, only for this fucking crazy music to kick in and to see this fucking pigeon fucker come back down and just deal insane amounts of damage with one hit, learning that the last guy that I'd spent so much time on was just a warm-up. I remember seeing Supernova for the first time, my jaw was hanging off the floor, and I remember pausing it just the right moment before he fades out so I could put a piece of paper over the TV and try and sketch him out because he just looks so fucking cool.
I spent years on this game between abandoned attempts and deleted saves until I finally finished it, and I knew then once I did that this game was going to be a part of me for life.
And it was. I remember going to school with an old CD player and burning the entire soundtrack onto CDs and bringing them in with me. I had posters, t-shirts, bags, bed sheets, you name it. It shaped my taste in media as well, and it taught me that the best lesson in my line of work is that story is key. Nothing else matters as much as telling a good story. Things may have been bad before, but things have a habit of getting better as well. And they did for me. I moved, made friends. But on the day that things weren't so good, I could take comfort in the fact that I could escape and lose myself in Final Fantasy VII. Now, fast forward a bit to 2005. This was the first E3 that I watched. It's the first time I ever heard about E3. And it was at this E3 they revealed the PS3. It was a little different to how it came out, but I remember just watching it, all these trailers, and just being blown away at the concept of playing online with other people, as well as the ridiculous movie-level graphics. It was just so revolutionary to me. About halfway through this conference, this guy from Square comes out to have a little chat, and he plays us this video, and that changed everything.
We currently have no plans on releasing a remake of Final Fantasy VII.
The fire that would burn for over a decade in the hearts of fans was lit. Fans saw what could be, and we whispered of a dream. A remake of Final Fantasy VII, bringing the experience into modern gaming with proper graphics, voice acting, the whole lot. Square made a big mistake that day, and they would never hear the end of it. From then on, they were hit with pleading fans, articles, fan-made videos, you name it, until one day, one cold, dark day in an office somewhere, I don't know if it was cold or dark, I have no idea when they decided to do it, Yosuke Matsuda said, fuck it, and hit the button. Kept under wraps for years, they worked and worked, until one day, June 16th, 2015, at the Sony E3 conference, they pulled the rug off of one of the biggest shockers in gaming history. And as for the fans, well, you know. As I'm writing this, the world is gripped by COVID-19. Everything is shut down, and I'm currently jobless. Things are pretty shit right now, so this game couldn't have come at a better time. I can escape again into this gorgeous reimagined world that is so familiar and yet so new. 21 years after playing Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VII Remake is just a week away.
So that's it. That's my little story on why Final Fantasy VII and the remake means so much to me. If there's one thing I'd like to see, I guess, other than the game being good, is I'd love for people who feel the same way about this game that I do to share their experiences. I went and got myself a capture card yesterday so that I can record gameplay and share my experience on this, whether it be good or bad, because it's more than just a game, you know. It's like, it's a connection that we have to like video games as a medium of storytelling. So I'd love to see everyone, whether they be big or small channels, just share the love, share the experience, and let's go into this together. And I can't wait to obviously play it and share my experience, so I hope that some of you stick around for that. And I guess we'll see you on April 10th when the game comes out, and we'll see you then. Thanks for watching.